It's Happy Hour again from Central City, New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com, brought to us today by our friends at Petite Pet Care. If you're going out of town for the summer, if you have a school or work schedule that keeps you away from home, the folks at Petite Pet Care understand that some pets are fine going to a kennel or doggy daycare, but others prefer the comfort of their own home. Who doesn't, right?
That's right.
That's right. Petite Pet Care are insured, bonded, Red Cross Pet CPR and First Aid certified. But most importantly, they love animals. For loving care when you're not there, Petite Pet Care are. You can find them at petitepetcare.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limo or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. In this case, we're at Casa Borrega on Aretha Council Haley Boulevard in Central City, New Orleans. Casa Borrega is a bar. It's a live music venue and it's a restaurant as well. Come down here and get a drink, get a meal, kind of Mexican style, or listen to some Latin jazz mostly, and join us for the next 60 minutes as this is our last time at Casa Borrega. We're leaving here after today. So make the most of it, everybody here around the table. Let me introduce you to my special guest today on Happy Hour. To my left, Yolanda Butler is pointing at something. What, do you want another drink already?
Yes.
We haven't even started the show and you're already on your second drink?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. No, it's my first.
It's your first.
I just couldn't reach it. And so I was pointing to Graham.
It's your first drink, but you couldn't reach it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, let's start that again. Yolanda Butler is the co-owner of the catering company Two Girls and a Spoon. Which one are you?
I am
one of the
first girl. Yes.
The first girl.
Yes.
Yolanda was born and raised in Central City, New Orleans, right here.
That's correct.
Wow, you don't meet those people very often. You're one of the very few left alive, actually.
Yeah, actually, I am a native New Orleans, and I'm very proud of my city.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is quite a place to have grown up around here in Central City. Let's talk about that in a minute. You says here you went straight from high school to work in human resources at the Whitney Bank.
I did.
Come on. Well, we got that right, Graham. So far, that's good news. Finding the banking lifestyle left something to be desired in terms of excitement. Yolanda went overboard in the other direction and joined the Army.
I did.
Oh, my goodness. After 3 years of driving a military truck. Okay, thank God you don't know any like physical stuff like special forces crap or anything, do you?
I would have to kill you if I told you. Yeah.
Okay, well, you could do that later. Let me just get through the rest of the show first. You came back to New Orleans, it says here, and became a respiratory therapist. Why is that so funny, exactly?
Because I don't know. I was random in what I wanted to do. I was kind of finding myself, so.
You found yourself in breathing?
I did.
Come on.
I did.
So there's a sort of medical show here today. Until the call of food got to be too strong, and Yolanda realized that having her own catering company gave her an excuse to start drinking her signature lemon thyme martinis earlier in the day.
That is correct.
That's nice. Okay, so you make lemon thyme martinis.
I do.
And thyme is spelled T-H-Y-M-E in this case.
Yes, it is. And it's very delicious.
What does that taste like? Lemon and thyme. What does thyme taste like? What is it in mostly when it's not in a martini? Christian?
Simon and Garfunkel song, I think.
That's right. Yep.
That's parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's 1/5 of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it taste like, thyme? Any idea, Andrew?
Yeah, like it always reminds me of a whole chicken, roast chicken always. Well, it doesn't always, but it has thyme in it sometimes.
Do you use thyme in the chicken cooking?
I do. Brine. It's good in brine.
It's brine time.
You brine meat.
Really?
Yep.
With thyme?
Yep.
Okay, we've learned something already today. Yolanda will come back to you in just a minute. Let me introduce you in the meantime to Dr. Keith LeBlanc. Hello, Keith.
Hello.
How are you?
Great.
Dr. Keith LeBlanc leads the team at the Skin Surgery Center. That's the best name you could come up with for that business. Skin surgery. That is one of the least appealing things I've ever heard.
Nobody ever really wants to see me. But that's what I do. I just do skin surgery. So.
You couldn't think of another name, though, like Magnolia?
No, it was like the Dave Matthews Band version of a medical title, right?
Dave Matthews Band is Dave Matthews Band.
Correct. And I just do skin surgery.
So that's what you just called it, the Skin Surgery Center?
Pretty much.
Why is it spelled center, C-E-N-T-R-E?
We were trying to kind of sophisticate ourselves a little bit, I think.
So if you're going to get skin surgery, you might as well
do it in a sophisticated environment.
Guy called Keith LeBlanc.
Exactly.
Okay. Keith LeBlanc is not that sophisticated name. You should have changed your name. Maybe it's not too late.
Not here, but you would, living anywhere else other than Louisiana, if anybody pronounces it correctly, buy a lotto ticket.
What is it normally? What do you hear?
LeBlanc, LeBlanc's. It's anything other than the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, well, that's pretty standard, though. I mean, it looks like Lee Blanc or something, doesn't it?
There you go.
So it's exotic in other places, but not in Metairie, I wouldn't think.
No, it's not. Not anywhere in Louisiana. It's good for telemarketers, though. I know when it's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
somebody I
Someone
want
you
to
don't
talk
want to talk to. Yeah,
Exactly.
So you're the team leader at the Skin Surgery Center of Metairie, where you perform surgical and cosmetic treatments, to maximize the health and appearance of the skin. The center specializes in Mohs. Is that how you pronounce that?
That is correct.
Mohs, M-O-H-S, Mohs micrographic surgery and reconstruction, as well as the latest minimally invasive cosmetic procedures. Well, that's always good to know you have minimally invasive cosmetic procedures rather than like have your whole face sliced open.
Exactly.
Just to end up looking better. I like whoever wrote this, very nice. Including botulinum toxins. Okay, what is that, Botox?
It is.
Soft tissue fillers, chemical peels, and anti-aging skincare regimens. Dr. Keith is an authority on skin cancer. Okay, finally something serious.
There you go.
All right. An MD Anderson accredited dermatologist. Okay, so you're a real doctor.
Yes.
You're not just a guy who does Botox shots.
No.
Okay. So have you had Botox? You look great.
I did one time when I first learned how to do Botox about 7 or 8 years ago. My mentor said, "I'm not going to teach you how to do this unless you've done it yourself." So
Well.
kind of against my better judgment. But
Why is it against your better judgment?
well,
to have-
it's not something that I would have done at 25 years old.
Just one? Was it like in one eyebrow? So you kind of got
right,
like
exactly.
one
I had
thing
I had
going?
an Elvis / The Rock
Yeah.
look for like 3 months. No, it was I did my forehead one time, but Botox only lasts about.
But it was
3
in
or 4
college,
months.
and you know, it's just
Exactly, it was a phase. I don't like to talk about it now. Exactly.
What does it feel like to have it done then?
It's really not painful. It's done with a diabetic injection needle, so it's a 30 gauge needle. It's very
Done
very
with a
small.
diabetic, not... What does
the,
that mean?
the needle itself, the syringe itself, is the same syringe that diabetics give themselves insulin
I
shots
see.
with, so it's teeny tiny. So no,
smaller
it's
than Cajun injector then.
smaller than a Cajun injector.
Okay.
Exactly. A Cajun injector works though. You know, we do what we need to do here in
Sure.
Louisiana, and if a Cajun injector is all I got, then that's what I go with.
Turkey baster? You ever try it with turkey baster?
Have not.
What else can I say about you? You've been leading the charge here and locally. It says for National Skin Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah,
very good.
It's a timely appearance here on
It
Happy
is.
Hour.
I'm
May
pleased
is
to
Skin
have you.
Cancer Awareness Month.
This is
so-
a good place to... I would imagine this is a good place to not get skin cancer because you can hardly go in the sun here without burning up to death in about a minute.
Well, we'll chat about sunscreens and all that good stuff, and hopefully people
Okay.
won't burn to death.
All right. Vanessa Neiman is sitting across the table from you as well. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing great,
Listen to this
thanks.
description of you. It says Vanessa's been described as an attractive songbird. So far, yes. Correct?
Thank
An
you.
attractive songbird armed with powerhouse vocals and serious songwriting. Better known in New Orleans as Gal Holiday. The front person for Gal Holiday in the Honky Tonk Review. Vanessa has led the band for close to 10 years. That's been going on now.
Yes, this August will be 10 years.
Oh, my goodness. Have you lived here that whole time?
I have. I actually moved here in 1999.
So that was about 103 years ago now.
That's right.
Something like that, right? I can't really figure that out. Playing their own music and classics from the likes of Hank Williams in the authentic Western swing and country dancehall style, Gal Holiday racks up gigs across the country, including opening for Lyle Lovett at this year's Jazz Fest, which was an awesome set.
Yeah, that was a great
What a
day,
day.
out there.
What a day. And the band is about to embark on their first international tour. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's
We're excited.
exciting, isn't it? Gal Holiday and the Honky Tonk Review's third record, The Last to Leave, it's called, has just come out. How's it doing?
It's doing pretty well, actually. You know, we don't play country music that gets airplay on modern country stations. So
Well,
we're
there's only
on
about
the
3 people who do.
Yeah, so we're on the what's called the Americana charts, along with lots of other amazing musicians. It's not really just country music. It's like old time and all that
Well,
kind of
I
string
wouldn't
stuff.
call you country. Is that, do you call yourself country?
You know, we are country. I mean, the stuff that we play is the older stuff is definitely the country. Is definitely country. But we've taken with our songwriting. We've taken it a little bit more in the Americana
Right.
kind of vein. But I mean, we definitely play honky tonk and we're a dance band. So
You're a Honky Tonk Review. after
Yeah,
all. I would
yeah.
have called you Western Swing, which is more sophisticated, like LeBlanc.
yeah, we do like the review is spelled REVUE, and so it's a review. We started off kind of doing everything from Western swing to old blues, which was a lot of Western swing, and also the honky tonk stuff, the real. And then the 70s kind of stuff as well. So we did it ran the gamut of everything from Western swing to rockabilly to honky tonk. So that's where the review comes from.
Right, like Center RE and Review UE.
Yeah.
You guys could team up with the Honky Tonk Review Center. Christian Unruh is also joining us here today. You probably heard Christian's name if you listen to the show ever. At the very end of the show, It says our music director is Christian Unruh, and here he is live in person. He normally never shows up here.
This
but
is
he
weird.
Isn't this great, Andrew?
This is like Oz.
I don't normally
the
wake
man
up this early.
You look fabulous for a man who normally sleeps through happy hour cocktail time.
I figured it was the last show here. I'd try to.
You've got to make an effort. It's
make
so
an
good
effort
to
to
see
get
you.
down
It's
here.
awesome to see you. Did you bring us any gifts like you were promising at some point?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, thank you very much. Christian books all the music on our show. We've never had a bad day of music on the show. In 3 years we've been doing this. So thank you so much for
thanks to
everything you've done.
Yeah, all the musicians and Andrew
Yeah.
especially has made things
Andrew Duhon has made
a lot
huge,
easier. Yeah.
Thanks for
huge
having us,
difference
brother.
to our show.
I did bring a medical. It's funny because it seems like I show up when I do show up. It's the right show. Have you noticed that?
Yes, you've got something.
Not so
You've got a
far.
medical.
I got a medical thing. So
I get that a lot. Like, hey, it's really nice to meet you. Can you come in the other room
can
and
you
look
look
at
at this
Yeah.
thing
It's
on
all
the
on my
back
back.
of my?
Yeah. So I'm going to give Andrew Duhon a real introduction because we haven't done that. Andrew Duhon is our happy hour troubadour who wanders around the country and around the world, and then occasionally wanders back here.
Yeah.
This time, for the last time, to Casa Borrega.
But on to pastures unknown.
Exactly, on to bigger and better things next week, or maybe even later tonight, if we get lucky.
Perhaps. We'll light out for the Northern Territories.
Exactly. So Andrew, welcome back. I know you were here last week as well, so welcome back from nowhere
Yeah.
this time. So where shall I start, Andrew? What do you think? Skin surgery or driving a truck in the army?
I'm still just trying to think of a good name for the skin surgery
Center.
place. Yeah.
We've got to come up with a better name.
What,
Nobody wants
what
skin
rhymes
surgery.
with dermis besides thermos
Thermos and dermis. What else?
or
could-
derma?
like dermatology. So you're a dermatologist, is that right?
I am, yeah.
What made you want to be a dermatologist
Germ.
as opposed to something else? Why
Actually,
didn't you go into gynecology, for example?
it's a bit of a roundabout story. I played rugby for 8 years and saw a lot of
I didn't think it was going to start there.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
I try to be unexpected, especially
right.
on shows like this.
Okay.
So I thought I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon, but
How many shows have you done like this?
Exactly 0.
Okay.
So I-
this
I
is
have a-
uncharted territory.
Exactly, I have a long tradition of doing that began 13 minutes ago.
Have we been here for 13 minutes already and we still haven't got a story about dermatology and
14.
rugby yet?
14
14,
now.
okay.
There you go.
So you played rugby whereabouts?
I played here in high school actually, and then I
In New Orleans. You grew up in New Orleans.
I
too.
did. I grew up here.
Where'd you go to high school,
There
bruh?
you go.
I went to Jesuit.
Ah, right on, bruh.
Thank you.
I went to Rommel Radies, but you know.
So I played rugby here, and then I went and played in college as well,
Holy
and saw
crap.
a lot of good compound fractures and all
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
thought you would have
Nice.
ended up being an orthopedic surgeon.
And that's what I thought too. And then I got to that point, and everybody was asleep. So I like to talk,
What?
which I guess it's good. Why
You mean
I'm
everybody
here,
was
but-
asleep? What do you
Well, all
mean?
the patients were asleep. You get to know your nursing staff and everything pretty well. But
Right.
what most folks don't realize about what I do, patients are awake. So while I'm doing nasal reconstruction, we're going to chat about your grandkids.
Why are you looking at me when you say nasal reconstruction?
No,
Nothing personal.
No,
it was the grandkids.
It was, we just. No, so everything I do is under local anesthesia, so patients are awake and we can kind of chat about.
Okay, this is the scariest thing I've heard. I didn't know that. So if I go in for a facelift, I'm awake?
No, so I don't do cosmetic procedures like facelifts. Most of
okay.
what Mohs surgery is, and we kind of Fred Mohs was a guy. His name was Frederick Mohs. He's passed now, but I get a lot of patients come in and say I'm here for nose surgery, and we do a lot of Mohs on noses.
So it's called Mohs micrographic.
And so what we do
By the
is
way, I didn't call it Fred's micrographic.
I know it's better than Mohs, I guess,
Yeah.
but I wasn't
Fred's
around.
micrographic, like you could call it Captain Fred. That would be a good name for
I'm here
the
for Captain
place.
Fred surgery. It could
Yeah.
be the Captain Fred Center. We may change that. We got to talk to the
Captain-
Louisiana
What do you
Department
think?
of Revenue, get a new tax ID number. We'll be
Getting
good.
better. Getting warmer.
Okay. I think we'll put that on the list. Write that down. Captain Fred's discount. I'm going to write that down. Captain Fred's discount skin surgery.
There you
All right.
go.
Okay, so I have a question. What percentage of the patients that you have some sort of ailment, and which percentage are just getting cosmetic things done?
The practice that I run is probably 90 to 95%, if not even more than that, skin cancer removal and
Oh, okay.
reconstruction, and
Gotcha.
then 5 to 10% cosmetics.
So you could lose the whole cosmetic thing and you wouldn't even
I probably
be hurting.
I probably could. I'm trained in it. It's fun. I like to do it, but at the same time, the people that are referring me skin cancer do cosmetics as well, so I can't. I don't market that.
Oh, so you're being referred by other dermatologists.
Exactly. You go to your dermatologist, they do a biopsy, and let's say it's something on your nose or your face or an area that they don't want to work on. They do a biopsy.
What
find
other
out-
area would they not like to work on?
Well, particularly large lesions anywhere else on the body. A lot of people don't realize general dermatologists do a decent amount of surgery. So if you have a mole on your back, for example,
Yes.
they'd probably do the removal as long as it wasn't a particularly large lesion. Larger things or things in cosmetically sensitive areas where you don't want to create defects that are bigger than they need to be, they come to me.
Vanessa, have you had surgery?
Yeah, I've
look at
actually
your
had a couple
scar.
surgeries,
Oh,
but this
my
one was
Lord.
done while I was awake. I went to see my friend Vince, and he said,
Hey, while you're here.
well, I had a cyst that had grown around. It was like a marble, size of a marble, and he said, we could just do this right here, right now. I'm like, right now? You know, you kind of freak out, you start to
Right.
shake. He's like, yeah. He's like, he pulls out a needle and he sticks it in my neck. And
Just one thing. First of all, he was a doctor, I assume.
yes.
My friend Vince. I just wonder if he...
Is he still your friend?
Dr.
He did
Vince.
that to you?
Dr. Vince,
Okay.
yes. He gave me a
Okay.
pretty righteous scar, so it's amazing.
He's got a
Yeah,
huge
I was
scar right on
actually
your
just
neck.
wondering, could you just like give scars as if they were tattoos? Just kind of, could you give me one of those?
Don't start this, Andrew.
I have never had
You
that
want one?
request before. I'll
could
think
see
about.
that.
I'll
How
think
much?
about that. I don't. That's a good
Maybe
question.
like right
I-
across the cheek.
Yeah, kind of like an Al Pacino type
Yeah,
of deal.
yeah.
I've never had that request. But I'll think about it for the next 43 minutes, and
Why don't
we'll
you
get to that.
Peter
just-
Dinkley from
just
the
get a
Game of
knife.
Thrones.
We could do it right here.
There you
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got a
I
knife
wanted
back
to-
there for cutting
I want a Game of Thrones scar. Come on.
Do you prefer serrated or unserrated?
Definitely, sir.
Okay, so Vince gave you a shot in the neck then.
Yeah.
And whacked out that cyst. It was
Yeah.
as big of a marble. Do you still have the cyst? Did he give it to you?
Oh, no. I
mean,
wouldn't have wanted.
flushed
I mean,
it.
I guess I could have put it in some kind of, preserved it in some way. It was
Well,
pretty
yeah.
disgusting.
But he's not a dermatologist.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that scar. And how many stitches was that? A lot.
I know, yeah.
So you wouldn't have done
But it was
that,
good.
Keith, right? You would have done it like a micro.
But it was free.
Wow. Free.
I'm just discount. I'm not free.
But a scar like that is kind of
It's
nice.
cool.
Right?
Oh,
it's great.
cool.
It's kind of
Yeah.
sexy, kind of top. You can
It's
talk
awesome.
about
do you,
it.
Do you have like
Conversation starter.
a story at set break if somebody asks you at the bar what it's about? Do you have a good story that you made up about a bar fight with
Broken bottle.
something?
I should make up a good story
Yeah.
like that.
We
Yeah.
can do that
Gail
too,
Holiday
Jim.
attacked by rival fan.
Well,
Something good.
You could say Yolanda went after you.
Yeah.
Oh,
With the
Have you
spoon.
got the spoon?
they say there's no such thing as bad advertising, right?
I agree.
Exactly. Who's the other girl with the spoon? We haven't even talked about the rugby. We'll get back to rugby in a minute. Who's the other girl with the spoon?
The other girl is Nettie.
Nettie.
Yes, Nettie Jones.
Nettie Jones?
Yes,
And
yes.
Yolanda Butler. That's got a good ring
Yeah,
to
we've
it.
been colleagues for about 15 years in the medical field.
She's also a respiratory therapist.
No longer.
So she quit too.
Yes.
Wow. So what is respiratory therapy exactly?
We deal with any kind of lung disease, asthma, ventilator,
Okay.
tracheotomy patients. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Tracheotomy
It's a
patients.
very serious thing. It's not fun. So,
So how long did you do that for?
for 15 years.
So you had no fun for 15 years?
No fun.
Holy crap. That's a serious business. Do you get paid a lot of money for that?
It's decent. Yeah.
What are you doing for
But
mo-
you definitely don't do it for the money. Yeah, you don't do
Well, it's not fun and there's no money in it.
Yeah.
So
It's
what the fuck's up?
It's a job. It's a job, but you can't go into it thinking, "Oh, I'm going to do this because I want to make a lot of money," because there's a lot of stuff that you have to do, and it's very serious. So you have to actually care about
For-
people.
You're helping
to wanna
people,
do it.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you
Yeah.
do it.
it's kind
partly,
of important.
at least.
Yeah,
So you feel good at the end of the day. You've done something good for someone.
you do.
What do you actually do for them? You help them breathe. I guess that's rather
It's kind
essential.
of important.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah. I think
fairly
that's
basic.
very important. Yeah, yeah. So
How
we're-
many people did you kill over the 15?
Oh
Not
no,
one. None.
none.
Wow.
Perfect record.
Nice.
Keith, how many have you killed?
I'm at a 0. I'm batting 0 as well.
Geez, things are good here.
Very good.
That is good.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll come back to respiratory therapy in a minute because I know you don't want to talk about that at all, probably, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about. I tell you what I do want to know about driving a truck in the army, but two things first: rugby, and then a song. What do you think? And then we'll talk about driving trucks in the army.
Sounds
and then we
great.
have the most incredible medical breakthrough of all time to tell you about as well. So I've got a lot going on here today. But so tell us about rugby. So you started playing rugby in college, and then
I did.
You
I
didn't
thought I
wanna
was
be an
going to do
orthopedic
orthopedics,
surgeon,
and
because everyone's asleep.
Everybody was asleep. I like to talk. I like to figure out what makes my patients tick. And so when you get to that stage of medicine where you want to operate and work with your hands, but you want patients to be able to respond, it's either ophthalmology or dermatology. And in my circumstance, teeth, snot, and eyeballs are like my 3 bugaboos.
Hey, what do you got against snot?
Yeah, see, I don't do I can do blood, I can do guts. That stuff doesn't bother me. Trachs are like the worst thing in the world.
why?
It's the sounds that they make. You with me on that?
Yeah.
It's
It is
just
all
Yolanda,
true.
can you give us some typical sounds from a day at the... Is that one?
no, that's not it. It's kind of more of like a like a phlegmy sound. It's just bad. Trakes are rough.
They are.
I can take some stabs in the dark here, but I feel like
No
you would
pun
be better at
intended.
it than.
No. Have y'all seen that new show Silicon Valley? Anybody
No.
seen Silicon
No.
Valley on HBO?
Is it on TV?
It
That would
is.
count,
It's
that's
I heard it was
it's on
pretty good.
HBO. It's pretty funny. But one of the guys that when he gets uncomfortable, he makes a sound kind of like this. He goes, and that's kind of trachey.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's not a
just-
good thing.
Just as a matter of interest, what exactly is a is that the hole in the throat, the tracheotomy?
Yes. And so
With
you,
the-
you have to suction out. Yeah, the
Yeah.
secretion.
See, she got
Can
you.
we have a song?
She had you at suction.
I don't care about rugby. I want a song now.
Okay. You suction it out with what? Though?
With a
not
cat-
with,
with
not
a-
sucking it out.
No, with a
Like
catheter.
siphoning, with a catheter.
Yes.
Crazy
And
straw.
do you-
Is that what
do you
it
Do you have to do that while you're there? Or can you say, "I'll be right back"? I'm going to leave this turned on like a sump
No,
pump.
because you have to use your hand as a vacuum over the port and you suction. You have to
Wow.
clear the airway. Yes.
And
I think
what-
Christian wants a song.
I really want a song.
You don't like this kind of talk. You're squeamish
No,
about
you
this.
know, yeah. I have a couple things that bother me. I
Really?
don't think I'm going to be doing any respiratory tracheotomy clearings
No,
anytime
no.
soon.
Although I've heard it said though, right? I mean, I've seen it actually done,
Have you?
like
Why?
on some videos and stuff.
On
Like,
vid-
well, if you can actually put a pen tube, like if you
Yes.
have an emergency.
I saw that on
tracheotomy.
Melrose Place.
Yeah, I saw it on something. I
Yeah,
don't know,
me too.
a number of
Li-
times.
Lifeguard training, they make us
Yeah,
do
all
that.
kinds of things. Yeah.
You're a lifeguard?
Practice. Well, I try to stay certified just in case. I have to
And you
save
have to learn to
somebody.
stab people in the throat with a pen?
They show how to.
They show how to do
that.
an
Yeah.
emergency tracheotomy.
mean, you don't actually
I think
do
maybe
it.
I learned it. No, I think maybe I learned it in Girl Scouts or something. I don't know.
How far did you get in Girl Scouts?
Not very.
Did you get kicked out or what?
No, I just wasn't for me. I was busy doing other things.
Yeah.
Mm.
Where was that?
In Maryland.
What
In
part?
Maryland.
Chris comes from Maryland as well.
Oh yeah.
What-
Oh yeah.
What part of Maryland are you from?
I did a lot of my growing up in the D.C. area in Silver Spring, but I also am I'm from Western Maryland originally, Cumberland Valley, and then Frederick County. My mom lives
That
about.
sounds rural.
Yeah, it's rural.
What
My
were you gonna say
mom's
about
from
your mom?
Baltimore, so
Okay.
we're from kind of all over. My mom lives about a mile as the crow flies from Camp David.
How'd you get into country music?
I grew up with a lot of bluegrass music, not really considering that country music at all. And in the country, I didn't really listen to country music. It kind of came to it through rockabilly. A little bit later on, like late teens, kind of early 20s, I discovered Carl Perkins and, just some of that old rockabilly stuff. I thought it was kind of a cool scene. I was in the swing scene as well and liked to dance. And then I realized that stuff is actually country music. A
Yeah.
lot of that stuff, Johnny Cash and all of that.
Were you singing all this time?
Yeah, I grew up singing. My mom is a musician. My dad's a musician.
What do they play?
My dad plays the piano and the organ, and my mom plays the guitar and the piano and the organ. And
They're
she was
professional musicians.
My mother is not no, neither of them are. My mother is a choir director and organist for church and teaches music. And my father is a physicist,
A physicist?
Oh,
Yes.
just a physicist.
Yeah.
an optical physicist. Yeah.
Well, I haven't got a clue what that is. Anybody
what?
know?
He plays with lasers and studies optics.
Wow.
He's one of the guys who was on the team. You can thank him for your liquid scans at the airport. That's optics.
Really?
Oh.
What do you mean? They don't even scan everything. You take it out of your bag.
Yeah, they scan them though.
You mean he
the
invented that?
detection? No, he was on. Well, he's on the team that developed the technology. Yeah.
To Xray liquids at an airport.
And-
Okay,
Yes.
see,
And
is
they
he,
know what's in them now.
Yes.
It's amazing because I was on a cruise ship and they knew which bottles of liquid had.
you went on a cruise ship?
I did.
Did you?
It was a country music cruise.
Oh, was it cool?
Yeah.
Who was playing? Anybody?
The guy Blake Shelton. It was him and his wife and
Oh, cool.
country people, but.
Did you win tickets or?
Through the music industry kind of thing.
Perfect.
It was leaving out of Miami, and I was in Miami that day, and they called me, and there was an extra cabin or whatever, so I jumped
See,
on.
that's Christian. He will do that.
That's
No
fun.
preparation whatsoever. They call me on the day. I got on the cruise ship, and then
Good man.
I'm at sea with a bunch of country
It's
musicians.
my first time,
So-
but I was with Blake Shelton's manager, whose name I won't say because I'm sure he has lots of managers. At a bar stop, right? And it was like 3 for 1 at this little bar in Trinidad or wherever we were. And once I order a drink, I have to finish it, right? I can't leave it on the bar.
Of
No.
course,
So
alcohol abuse.
I put it into
a go-kart.
an empty tonic water bottle or something like that. and I also had like a Diet Coke or something for somebody else, and they knew which one from the scan had alcohol in it.
Oh, wow.
And which was the real thing, but from the scan.
Wow.
They
That's
just
impressive.
lifted it out of my bag and go. And
No booze.
I went, really? I went, yep.
And we can thank Dr.
Yeah.
Neiman
So
for that.
you owe
Professor
me
Neiman.
a drink.
It's actually
Yeah.
Dr. Maccabee.
Dr. Maccabee.
Dr. Maccabee.
How is Neiman your married name to somebody else, or you changed it, or
It's
what?
a very complicated story.
Well, we have another 40-odd minutes. What happened? You started off playing rugby?
Neiman is my birth father's name, and Dr. Bruce Maccabee is my stepfather, but he's been my dad for my whole life, basically.
Okay. What happened to Mr. Maccabee?
To Dr. Maccabee?
No, Doctor. Which
Bruce.
one's which?
Oh, my birth father?
Yeah. He's Doctor.
He's been long gone.
Is he Neiman or Maccabee? I'm lost.
Neiman.
Neiman. Neiman is your birth father.
Yeah.
And you don't even hardly know him at all.
Nope.
Okay. That's interesting because they're both really super like German Jewish names.
Well, Maccabee is interesting. I think they were actually Scottish.
Scottish name. That's a Scottish name.
They Scottish, but
What?
they came over.
It's a different
to,
Mac, I think.
Well, they came over to the United States
That
and
would
they
be
changed
Maccabee.
it to Maccabee, which is like the Maccabeus family, which are the founders of the Jewish religion.
Right.
So all my Jewish friends growing up thought that was super weird that my last name was Maccabee and I wasn't Jewish.
Well,
It's very
and then
strange.
Neiman is German.
Neiman is German. It means no man.
Okay. Wow.
It's very
What a heritage.
mysterious.
So, do you see your parents much?
You know, I don't see them as much as I would like to.
So every time you see them, I assume you've got another tattoo.
You know, it's been about my newest tattoo I got
Okay.
recently, but I hadn't had one for 7 years. So,
You took 7 years off. You've got a lot of tattoos.
but every time I go home, they say, "That's your last one, right? That's your last one."
What do they think? What did they think when you got your first one? What was your first one?
My first one was on my 18th birthday. It was a butterfly on my belly.
Okay. They didn't see that initially then, I assume.
No, it took a little while, but my mom and dad are both pretty open-minded. So, They're okay.
They don't get on you about it, other than you're not going to get another one, are you?
not really so much. They don't get on to me. My mom got a little tattoo with me when she
Nice.
came down here to New Orleans. See what happens.
She got plastered?
No. no,
You got a tattoo like the
We
rest
just
of
went
us?
and got a little tattoo.
What'd she get?
We got little matching butterflies.
Awesome.
Little matching
Okay.
butterflies.
So let's go over some of your favorite ones. What are they? It's a beautiful, like a bird. It's like
yeah,
a
I have
peacock.
a beautiful peacock done by an English tattooist named Andy Barber. And I have a tattoo for my grandmother up here on my shoulder.
Right. She didn't do it. It's of your grandma.
It's for my grandmother,
Okay.
not by my
Right.
grandmother. My grandmother
That
was
would be good.
one of the ones
Grand-
who was very old school
Old
and not
Scottish
very into.
tattooist.
Yeah. So
Yeah, one of the original Maccabee tattooists.
yes, but I have a lot of tattoos for friends and family and
Things that
Nice.
each one means something to you,
Yes,
rather
yes.
than just art. It's actually got a significance.
yes, very much so. I think they're very empowering, you know. And boy, we're talking about dermatology. You know, the dermatologist sitting over here going,
He's
do
licking
you do
his-
tattoo
he's licking
removal
his
over there
chops
too?
to take those off right now.
Yeah.
I do removal.
You could
but
put
I'm-
his kids through college if you had to take all those off.
I actually don't have the device to do that. I'm trained to do it, but no, I don't do any tattoo removal at my current location. I'm pretty open-minded, so I think, you know,
How difficult is it to get them off?
they hurt a lot more to get off than to put on, from what I've heard.
That's what I've heard too.
Really?
They're very painful.
The description that a lot of my tattoo patients back when I was doing that kind of work would tell me is, imagine somebody standing at the ceiling with a rubber band and then they would release it, but imagine 1,000 of them hitting you at once, and that's just one pulse. And
It's laser removal, right? So
it
it's like
is.
pop, 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 pop,
Yes.
pop. It sounds
Well,
really
your
painful.
dad could
Yeah.
do it.
Well, hey, if he
he
ever
developed the technology
Yeah,
for
if-
that as
Yeah.
well.
Whoever does that is going
if he wanted to go back to college at 71, I would
Very
say
well.
that would be.
Is he still working as a physicist?
No, he actually. Oh gosh, we're gonna get into this now, aren't we? We're talking about my dad.
Yeah.
No, my dad is retired. He worked for the Navy for a long time, and but he is one of the world-renowned ufologist, which is a UFO researcher.
Whoa.
He's
we've
on
been here
TV
before.
all the time.
Yes.
We
So
need
We're
another-
back.
We need an extra hour for this
yeah,
show.
exactly. So
We'll be right back.
Yeah, if anybody's interested to check
Yes,
out
of
more
course
about my
we're
dad,
interested.
he has a website. It's called brumac.8k.com.
Okay. So, how crazy is he really?
My dad is a pretty wild guy. I think anybody who's really smart like that is very eccentric.
Okay.
And
But he's
one
a
of
trained
those.
physicist.
Yes.
He's had a successful career, and he believes that there's aliens.
Well,
So
you'd
you'd have to believe him, you mean?
He until he had his own sighting, he actually didn't believe people, because he's an optical physicist. People would send him video and photographs from all over the world, starting back in like the late 60s and early 70s.
Just because he's an optical physicist, people would send him video and photos of UFOs? What's
yes,
the connection
to
between
study,
those?
to
okay.
to debunk, or to tell them what it was.
Okay. And
So
what
that's
was
what he
his-
does.
And what was his feeling during those days, that it wasn't true, that he could explain
He's
away?
a scientist, so unless he's
Right.
seen it himself,
Okay, so
he doesn't believe.
what did he see then?
I think he was in Florida, and he had his own sighting of something that he
It's
couldn't
always in Florida.
explain. I know. They're down there in Gulf Breeze, apparently.
That's where he was, Gulf Breeze. Okay, so what happened, really? Did he get abducted or anything?
No.
Well, what did he see?
I don't, you'd have to ask him.
Well,
I'm sure
you
he'd
know
be
we're
happy.
going to now.
I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to
Unidentified
you.
Florida objects.
He loves to talk about UFOs.
UFO, unidentified Florida object.
Yes.
So you never actually asked him what he saw all these years when he's been talking about UFOs? Is that even possibly believable?
It's in his books. I just can't recall. It's been a while since I've read his.
Wouldn't you think you'd remember that sort
You
of
know,
thing?
and that's the thing is, like, I think I grew up with it. I'm not really as interested in the UFO, like, craze as much as other people. To me, it's kind of like, well, there's obviously something else out there, but, you know, are they little green men? Who knows?
I think
Well, your father, apparently. That's why.
That would be a good place to start.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
mentioned that you wanted to sing a song that you might be able to dedicate to him about this UFO thing.
Yeah, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Well, should I sing something?
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think?
I think
What-
she said she was going to sing Crazy, so I thought she could
Oh.
sing that to her father.
I actually changed my mind. I think I might sing a different song than
Right.
that. I was going to sing Crazy, but then I thought, well, I should probably sing something off of the new album.
Okay.
And I'll do that, and then maybe Andrew will join me for another one
Sure
a little
thing.
bit later. So I'm going to do a song off of our new album. The album's called Last to Leave, and this song is called To Make Amends. I'm just going to do it a cappella.
Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah? Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so all these sleepless nights, all these days and weeks, all this toil and strife, all this love that we seek, how does it all add up? How does it all fit in to this crazy life? How do I begin to make amends for hearts that got broken, dreams not come true, hearts that got broken, and my heart is aching for you. What did you want to be when you were just a child? Do you even know what your heart desired? Did you fall in love? Did you break his heart? Was it worth your while? How do we begin to make amends for hearts that got broken, dreams not come true, hearts that got broken, and my heart is aching for you to make amends for broken hearts, dreams not come true, hearts that got broken, and my heart is aching for you. Yes, my heart is aching for you.
Wait.
Thank you.
That takes a certain amount of courage to be able to sit there and do that too.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed.
Doesn't it, Andrew? Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think as a performer, isn't that difficult to do?
Totally. Yeah, the acapella thing. It's awesome.
I think that's the first time I've ever sung that a cappella. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for listening. I
that
appreciate
was
Wow.
beautiful.
That's
it's super
amazing.
intense in an intimate environment like that too. You know.
Yeah.
I would be. Are you nervous doing that sort of thing?
I always shake and shiver a little bit before I start, but then like in small groups, it's more. Normally, as soon as I start to sing with the band live on stage, it's like, yeah, and then the adrenaline takes
Yeah.
over. In a small group, like I get like really nervous singing around my family, or just in a small group of people. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to this and you don't know what's going on here, you listen to this on on an iPhone or something, and if you go to our website, it's neworleans.com, and take a look at where we're sitting. We're sitting around a tiny little table, and we're literally all shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
That is incredibly close quarters to be able to just let it rip like that. And
It's pretty intense, though,
Yeah.
in the audience as well, right? It's more intense than
Yeah.
being part of a big audience at a stage with the
Yeah.
proper.
You got
Sure.
someone
Yeah.
looking
normal
right at
thing.
you
Yeah,
saying,
when
"Did
she's
you
right there, it's like you're like get kind of goosebumps and
It is.
intense.
looking right at you saying, did you fall in love? Did you break her heart? His heart?
I think, as an audience member too, when that, it's a very intense, for me, it's an intense experience too. I feel that for sure. So
I had
That's cool,
chills.
thanks.
I felt like you
Oh.
were singing directly to me.
Well, she was singing
Yeah.
directly to you, by the way. Yolanda.
3 feet
the
across
lyrics,
the table.
the lyrics too, though.
You've
The
been
lyrics.
married for a long time, so you didn't break anyone's heart for years, right?
No, I haven't.
And it says it in the bio of you that I read that you met your husband 20 years ago, but you didn't know it.
I didn't at the time, but yeah, he's totally my soulmate.
What happened in the first time that you didn't recognize it?
No, you know what? Ironically or not, I think I recognize it, but it's a long story. But we were both involved in relationships,
Right.
and so he was a very good friend. And then you don't want to wreck that. So when that opportunity came, it was just like trying to weigh whether or not should we take this chance.
And screw it all up by having sex, you mean? Was that the decision you were trying to...
No, just losing that close bond as friends.
Well, how would you lose it? By
Well, if the
being in
relationship,
love with each other?
well, if the relationship went south, because you don't know.
Yeah, one in the hand is
Yeah.
it's worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No,
was
you-
really, really a good friend.
Well, how
Really
do
good
you make
friend.
that decision?
You just have to take a chance, and that's what I decided to do. I kept going on and on and on, and my sister said, "This is the one." You know, I kept saying what I wanted, and I
Right.
wasn't happy. She said, "Because you are with the person you're supposed to be with, but you're friends with him." So
And what did he think about that? Was he trying to come on to you all this time? Like,
No, he
hey, come
wasn't.
on, let's do it
No,
one time.
no.
What could be so wrong?
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't. So he's a real gentleman.
He really is. Yeah, he's a class act. He really
So
is.
what was
I
the
got lucky.
What was the conversation like when you just both decided? Because normally it kind of just sort of happens, and you wake up in the morning
Was
and you
there
go,
alcohol
"What just
involved?"
happened?"
Vodka and pomegranate.
Did you actually have a conversation about should we really go for it and take a chance in this? And we've been such great friends, and then we're going to change everything tomorrow morning, starting at like 6 o'clock. We're going to be in love with each other.
Well, when you say we had a conversation, I had the conversation because that was my concern, and he
Because
just
you're a
felt like-
girl. Because guys don't want to talk about
Yeah,
crap like
well,
that.
he's not thinking about that. He's just like, let's just go with it.
Okay, so what was the conversation? What did you say?
Oh, I don't
How'd
remember
you
the
bring it up?
specific
I bet you do.
conversation. No, I don't remember the
I
specific
put money on it
conversation.
that you still remember that. I can hypnotize you.
I
right
do
now.
not recall.
I've always wanted to be hypnotized.
Have you?
I really, it's
Really?
one of
Why?
my, it's on my to-do list because I don't know. I'm one of these people like I see it and I think I want it to happen to me so I can really believe that it works. I'm fascinated by that.
What is it about that fascinates you? That
'Cause-
getting in touch with your subconscious?
Well, yeah, just to have somebody be able to, extract information from me and me not be aware that I'm doing it, and then I wake up, but I want to be videotaped because I need to see it.
So you want to
believe it.
have the filter taken away so that you can tell the truth and all the real truth come out.
No, I'm curious about it. Whenever I see it, I think that's a really cool thing to be able to do. And I would love to have it
You could go to a
happen.
hypnotist, couldn't you?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
on your
sure.
to-do list. What else
It's
is on the list?
Oh, a lot of crazy things.
Okay.
Yeah, skydiving.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
That's-
skydive.
That's not impossible to do.
No, these things are not impossible. It's
You
just.
could be hypnotized and skydive.
Oh, I don't think I
on the
want to
same
do them
day.
together. No, that doesn't
might
sound
be
like a good.
dangerous.
Yeah, that sounds like a good combination.
The hypnotist could tell you that you're a bird. You could jump out of a plane.
The hypnodive.
using your
Another good name for the skin clinic. The Hypnodive.
Hypnodive Center also works, yes.
So anyway, there you were working at Whitney Bank, and you met this guy Darren, is his name, right?
Actually, I was
That
at
wasn't-
Whitney Bank,
Yeah.
and I knew Darren before I started working at Whitney, and I got him
Ah.
on at Whitney Bank.
Oh, you got him a job.
I got him a job.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was a vault teller, and I worked in personnel. And I did that for a while, and, it was a Monday through Friday job, and, on the outsides, everybody was like, oh, that's the best job ever.
Really, working in a bank?
Yeah,
No,
because
that's
you
not
have
the worst job ever.
benefits, and you're,
It sounds hard.
Around lots of money.
Yeah.
You get holidays that nobody
you're not
else
making
knows
lots
about.
of money, though. You're not making
But
lots
you're
of money.
close to it.
Yeah.
President's Day off.
Darren was actually closer to the
what?
money. Darren was closer to the money than I was.
Yeah, he was counting.
He was counting.
Okay, so you realized that was boring as all hell. You joined the Army. What did you do? You drove a truck. What country were you in?
Well, I did my military training in Fort Dix, New Jersey. And from there, I went to Frankfurt, Germany. And my MOS was a truck driver.
What's MOS stand for?
It's your military operational service. And so that's what I did.
Operational
Yeah. So that's what I did. And
you
I
drove
could
a truck in Germany.
It was fun.
What side do they drive on?
Oh, my God.
Same side
I
as
drove.
us?
I got a chance to drive on the Autobahn, which is really cool.
You can go as fast as you want, right?
Well, you have to, because they'll run you over. You really do. But
What are you driving? Like a big military?
yes, Humvees.
What do
18
they What do they think of a military person from the United States in Germany? Are you like cool or not cool or what?
Not cool.
Not cool.
No.
Wow.
Not really. Yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't want to say they didn't like service people, but I mean, I guess it's
Why
like.
not? You can say it if it's true.
No, because I don't want to put everybody into that category. That's a
Not
generalization.
every German.
Yeah,
Well,
no, that's
you
not what I
couldn't
mean.
say that everybody
Yeah,
in Germany hates you, but do they?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
What percentage of them hated you?
No, nobody hated me. It's
What was that? What year was this?
This was in 91.
Because it makes a big difference, whether it was
9/11.
pre-Soviet,
Yeah.
after the wall came down and all that.
Well, who remembers when that was? When
After
was
that, I mean, I can definitely see that more of a negative
Really?
bias towards the servicemen over there because they're very
Why?
pacifist now. The Germans.
Are they?
But
Sure.
it was a fun time in my life. I got to travel and do things.
And you didn't have to go to Iraq or Afghanistan. That was before all that, was it?
Yeah, well, the Gulf
When
War officially
did we
was
start
in
invading
in
people over there?
92.
So you got out before that?
No, I was still
Hang
in.
on. You were still in? So how come they didn't send you to Iraq or Afghanistan
I
or
got
something
lucky.
horrible?
I didn't have to go. Yeah.
So what do you do driving a truck around Germany? How bad could that be?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
so-
I did that for a little while. I was just there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I came back stateside, and then, I decided that I no longer wanted to be in the military. I started to, see things that I wasn't happy with.
In the military?
Yeah, it's not easy being a woman,
Right.
being a truck driver, the field that I was in. So I decided to come back home, and
Did you fall in love with anybody in the Army?
no.
That's a pretty lonely sort of existence.
Did anybody in the Army fall in love with you?
Big smile.
Yes. Who was it?
No, I mean,
Was it a man or a woman?
I had people that had cared for me, yeah, but it wasn't mutual, so
It wasn't.
no.
That's awkward when you're working together and you're driving a truck and you're in the same unit and they could kill you.
No.
They have a gun.
No, it wasn't like
It
that.
wasn't like that.
No,
Okay.
no.
What was it like?
Well, no, you grow very close with the people that you're around, but it was just one of those things. I was already involved with Darren, and that's where my heart was. So
How does it work when you're in the Army and you decide that you no longer want to be in the Army? You put your 2 weeks in, or how does it, what is
no, it's not quite that easy.
that? Yeah, right, so, yeah.
Yeah, there were circumstances that allowed me to leave. Yeah.
Okay.
But
That sounds like an interesting sentence.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
What
But yeah.
were the circumstances that allowed you to leave?
There were some things, like I said, that I wasn't happy about, and
But did you have an incident that
it wasn't just one incident. It was just an overall, like
was
I
it
said,
like a sexual harassment type?
that it was a lot of that. It was different. You have to
Wow,
remember
a lot of that.
You have to remember the field that I was in.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like maybe 3 women total in my unit. That's just not a lot of, a field where you're going to have a lot of women. So, you
Well,
have.
how many women are there in the Army? It's not 50-50, is it?
Well, no, but I'm not
So
talking
it's
about
always going to be
But
like
that particular
Yeah, but that
area.
particular area, it's not like I was
Yeah.
working in supply or, so the area that I was in, it wasn't a lot of women. So it made things very complicated. You had people with notions that you
Like a
shouldn't be,
hazing-
you
like
shouldn't be
hazing kind of
doing this. You're a female, maybe you should be working in the cafeteria or some
Ah,
other area.
okay.
So I got a lot of that, and I wanted to leave. So, and I did.
So they let you go.
And
Yes.
now you're working in a cafeteria of sorts. A really nice cafeteria.
Yeah, but I don't have to peel potatoes and
Right.
be on
You
mesh
get to make
duty.
martinis.
Yes.
Christian, we're going to run out of time if we don't do this right now. Christian Unruh, who is normally our music director and is an entertainment attorney as well, actually has branched out into a whole other field and has invented something in a little, what do you call that, a sachet?
Gel pack.
A gel pack called Hangover Destroyer.
I brought one for everybody.
Oh my
Sweet.
God!
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Who
This-
drinks alcohol? that
That's
is.
doubles. Let's do this.
Okay, so
I gotta test this thing.
but you have to
Very
wait till you
cool.
till
It's
you.
Hey,
So,
no, just,
Christian, tell us
anytime-
about it.
Yeah,
Tell us
okay. A long time ago after college, I went to Japan, visited an ex-girlfriend who was dating a sushi chef. He decided he was going to kill me with sake in a nice way. But
Better than the sushi knife, at least.
yeah, in the end of the night, he gave me a tea. I couldn't believe how good I felt the next day. For years, I tried to figure out what that was. And recently started reading some medical reports from Hong Kong and Korea about this Japanese raisin tree. So I connected the dots, ordered some on the internet, made test products, tested it out at Coachella and South by Southwest, and gave out about 3,000 samples. And pretty much
Didn't
that's
kill
the
anybody.
story. Yeah, no. And then this week, Wired magazine on the cover, it says the end of hangovers, and it's about this chemical. And so the word is out. So I
Nice.
figure I have
Awesome.
That's
like a
very
3-month head start.
So here's
Wow.
the thing, Christian. I saw you at South by Southwest, and you gave me one of these, and I still have it because I can't wait to use it. But every time I get blackout drunk, I black out and forget to take
Do it before. Just do it before. Take it
Okay.
before.
All right.
Think of it
That's
as
the thing.
just a protective coating for your liver.
Fair enough.
Before
So you can take it
drink.
before you start
You have
drinking.
to take it. You need to take it before you've had too much alcohol.
Ah,
Otherwise,
so that's
your
even
liver
easier.
will not catch up. It helps your liver stay on top of its
Okay, well that's
liver
even easier
business.
because I used to have this stuff in New Zealand. We had a thing called Baraka, which
Baraka,
is
yeah, that's
a
it after
mega
that.
dose, and that's you take that if you come home drunk and you take that, then you wake up in the morning you feel great. But if you come home plastered and you try and drink this fucking huge thing of pink stuff, you can't get it down.
if you can remember to even take
yeah, or
it.
you try, but you can't drink it. You're like, oh fuck that!
Take-
I'd rather have a
take
hangover.
Hangover
So
Destroyer
this is much
before.
better. So you take this before
or
you
during,
start.
while like all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, this night might get kind of nutty. Let me just take a minute, have a glass of water, take one of these, and then you'll be good for the rest
Okay.
of the night.
So how much by volume? How much is that?
That's one.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
S10 128 gigabyte, $10 a month up to 20 for 50-month credit. Apply then 2 bills or cancel early. Main balance due. Unlimited basic up to $930.20. Pay $32 per month per line. Auto pay. Data deprioritization to congestion speed. Maximum 0 stores and restrictions apply.